So I've never really made videos like this, kind of where I'm just talking. So I guess this would kind of be my first one, but I think from what I've seen and what's helped me is listening and finding people who talk about their experiences and things that they go through. And I know that I'm someone who sees those people, and in my moments of feeling lost or disconnected, there's sometimes just a little thing in those videos that helps get me through that day or that week. Just a little piece of wisdom or something that internally I kind of knew was true, but when someone else says it, it's like a reminder. It's kind of like, oh yeah, that's how it should be. And those things are helpful, and they are what get me through those days where I'm struggling. And I struggle, as I'm sure a lot of other people do. You know, I just turned 30, and I turned 30 like 2 months ago, but still pretty recent. And felt and have been feeling more lost than I've felt in a long time. More lost than I felt in my early 20s or mid 20s. And you can get into the spiritual woo-woo stuff and, say it's like, oh, it's your Saturn return, or this is just getting older, and all these, or whatever things you want to say, but it's just been my experience. And, for the last 2 months or 3 months, I turned 30 in March 1st, but since then, the last couple months, I've just been walking around feeling very numb and kind of going places, dragging myself out of bed, going places and going on walks, and just like staring at trees and bushes and not listening to music, not looking for anything, just sitting, trying to find the most silence I can in a rather heavily stimulating environment. I live in Huntington Beach, which isn't that bad, but I could not freaking imagine living somewhere in like LA, where it's just constant noise and distractions and bombardment, away from just like sitting alone and quiet with your thoughts, which is something I don't think a lot of people practice these days. We're always looking for something or at something, and it's usually the next thing, or it's usually something that's thrown right in front of us or told that we need to look at. And it gets really exhausting because you start losing yourself in that. And I found myself 2 years ago really questioning what are my thoughts and what are my own opinions and beliefs on things, because I had so many people around me and things and news events and advertisements and ex-girlfriends and ex-friends and even family members just throwing their beliefs and opinions on me. and it left me really, really confused for a while, and I had a breakdown and really pushed everybody away for a while. For the better part of a year, I was mad, and I really boxed everyone out to do that work, to really find myself, because I was lost. And I'm not saying I'm not lost right now, although I do have some insight, especially as of recent, within this last year, on what I think I should be doing, or what I would like to do, I guess. I've done a lot of things in my life. I've accomplished a lot, although I don't feel like it sometimes. I have a decent job. You know, it pays the bills on what I need, on my basic necessities, which is good. But one thing that I have to think, or that really came through to me over this weekend after attending my first Wachuma peyote ceremony, was the reason that I've been feeling so lost and confused and kind of alone was because I'm not putting the thing that truly matters to me first. And I think what I've really learned through my experiences, and then also sitting with that plant medicine over this weekend, was I need to be making music, and that's what I want to do more so than anything else. Everything else kind of just feels like a distraction. And you know, again, I've done a lot. I became a pilot when I was in my mid-20s. I have had a decent job working for my family, printing shirts and running orders and doing things for people and helping other people with their projects. And you know, I've been to a lot of places. I've traveled outside the country and seen a lot, seen many states within this country. And a consistent thing that's always been on my mind is music and playing music. And you know, I think that when I'm playing music, I'm not thinking about being anywhere else. But there are moments when I'm flying or working or going about my day or this or that, where I'm thinking about playing and making music. And so I really have to look at that and go, I'm not here thinking about something else or those other things. I'm not playing music thinking about other things, but when I'm doing other things, I am thinking about playing music. And that's kind of a really big realization for me. And I think that was something that I was told in that ceremony through these medicines because they are very much so alive, and they talk to you and they tell you things. And it's said that if I play music, everything else in my life will sort of naturally fall into place. And that's been a really big source of my confusion and feeling lost, is not fully understanding that. And so, you know, like I said, I've done a lot of things, but I've also failed at a lot of things, and I'm nowhere near where I thought I would be at this age. You know, I feel like I'm like a lot of people, just kind of getting by, not really thriving, just average. I feel average a lot of the times, which is fine. I used to really be afraid of being average, but as I've gotten older, I've realized that it's not so bad. And it doesn't scare me like it used to. So another thing I kind of thought before I pulled over on the side of the road and made this video in my truck, which is again one of these silent, quiet spaces where I can think and hear myself. Spend a lot of time alone in this truck, which is nice. But you know, I'm gonna go through life as everybody is, and we all are, I think, and I'm going to fail at a lot of things, and that's part of learning and the process. And I would rather fail at making art and making music than fail at printing t-shirts or flying an airplane or being an accountant or being a bartender or whatever, you know, pursuit that was laid in front of me or given to me, or someone convinced me, or I convinced myself that I need to do. At my core, I would rather continue to fail at making music and art than anything else, than continue to fail at anything else. And that's kind of just the theme of this video, I guess, that I wanted to make. And I don't know, I'll probably post this to YouTube and have it be my first, and it just feels good sometimes talking, and I really don't care who's listening at this point, because something else that I've realized too is that when you talk or make your music or make your sound or dial in your own frequency, the right people are always listening, and by honing in on your specific frequency of yourself, you are attracting the correct people anyways. So I'm really trying to lean into what feels correct for me these days, and that's really it. So yeah, if you find this video and you see it and it resonates with you, or you have a question, or you just want someone to talk to, I wouldn't mind listening, because I enjoy listening a lot more than I enjoy talking these days. So, I guess that's it for today. Thanks.